Alright, so this video is just going to be an introduction to a spreadsheet I put together, as well as just explaining how boost ranges work in general, depending on how many parcels you own in Atlas Earth. So as you'll note here, I do have a couple of multiple tabs here at the bottom, but I'm actually just going to go over this first one, the Atlas Earth boost ranges. If you go to watch an ad as well in order to boost your rent, you'll be able to click a hyperlink that says like rent boost outcomes or something like that, which will lead you to a support article and chart as well, just explaining basically the same thing here. But I want to make the spreadsheet just because we can manipulate it here, as well as there's a couple of things I'll introduce in later videos with these other tabs, just to kind of let everyone look at different hypothetical situations or actually tracking what your rental income will be based on your actual parcel distribution versus the standard parcel distribution that the Atlas Earth chart assumes. One thing to note, so over here on this left side, we have the distribution rate of each parcel. That's so 50% for odds of getting a common, 30 rare, 15 epic, 5% legendary. And then this just breaks down the accrual rate for each parcel rarity. I'll note there, due to rounding, this table might actually vary slightly from the one you can find in Atlas Earth's support article. But we're talking like, so this per year with ads calculated cell, it might vary by like 30 cents over a year. So it's pretty well spot on. But yeah, so this just breaks down based on how many parcels you have. If you're watching ad rent or ad boosts, and no, this is assuming 20 ad boosts a day. I will have another chart where you can kind of play with those numbers a little and see how it would affect you. But effectively what it does is, based on how many parcels you own, you're going to get a different boost multiplier. This table is for the US. They have a couple of other other tables for different countries in their support article. I'll be leaving a link to this chart, so you're welcome to copy it, do whatever you want with it. But yeah, so if you live in a different country, these boost multipliers might be slightly different. So like the 30 times for 1 to 150 parcels, I know in some countries, I think it might be a 20 times boost initially. But just looking at the chart, we can see that so if we go to this far right, so the per year with ads and super boost, this is assuming, I believe their formula factors in like 32 hours of super boosts per month. But you'll see that with the super boosts, your rental income per year will always go up as long as you're at the top of the tier. So that's one important thing to note. So once you hit 150 parcels, you're better off waiting until you get 200, till you can buy 70 parcels at once to get 220 parcels, to be able to hit that next tier, or else you're actually going to slump a little, because you're going to be having 150 parcels that you can boost at 30 times. And then if you buy one more parcel, you'll be at 151 parcels, but you'll only be able to rent at 20 times. And that's just same logic follows for each category. So you will want to be careful of that, just because you don't want to end up nerfing your income temporarily. I'll say, I mean, that's not the most stressful thing. I mean, this is a game after all, and a lot of times you're just playing for fun. And so if that's something you end up doing, not a huge deal. But ideally, if you're trying to be the most efficient you can, you're going to want to sit right at the top of these parcel ranges. So 150, save up like 7,000 Atlas bucks, and then just buy 70 parcels at once. to get to 220, save up till 290, just so you're being pretty efficient there. After 1,500 parcels, it doesn't matter. You're gonna want to make sure probably you're up at the higher end. You don't have to be right at 3,000 to make it the most efficient, as we can see down here. But there you might need to, and there's a calculator in here that you can go and see, okay, if I had 2,000 parcels, how much would I be at with ads and Super Boost, just to make sure you're staying at an efficient point and figuring out, okay, at what point do I need to buy more parcels? That's not going to really hurt me on the income side. But after you hit that break-even point, maybe about 2,000 or so, it might be closer to like 2,250. But after you hit that point, you can just keep buying away, because you'll know after 1,501 parcels, you're permanently in the 2 times boost range, with the exception of your temporary super boost you can get as well, which will give you a temporary 50 times. So the more parcels you get, the much more effective that super rent boost will be. This chart does not factor in any of the passport badge boosts. The hypothetical parcel number and the actual tracker do have calculations built in for your parcel or your passport badge, just because that's something you want to take into consideration when you're figuring out how much rent you're actually going to earn. But yeah, I'll leave the link for the spreadsheet in the description. Feel free to leave me any feedback. I'm happy to edit formulas, add stuff if there's something people think is useful. But in that case, thanks for watching.